We continue live right here, Pittsburgh CW, 7 nights a week. We're always talking sports with you. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani, Andrew Fillipponi from Pony and Muller in the afternoon, 2 to 6 on 93.7 The Fan. So, Andrew, I want to talk about this. Unusual because the PGA Championship, they moved it. They don't want to conflict with the NFL anymore.
Smart.
They shouldn't, because they get ratings disaster when that happens, especially their FedEx Cup playoffs. So, PGA is at a different time in May. But we're going to see something this week, and you may not have seen this story, that John Daly, you all know John Daly. He won a PGA after being a ninth alternate, and he's let life go by, and he doesn't miss out on much, and he's had his ups and downs as a result. But he has petitioned and won. The USGA has been petitioned before. You might remember Casey Martin, who had he was handicapped, a degenerative hip or leg disease, and he was not allowed. They said it's an advantage if you ride the cart. This is the first time ever the USGA will say, you can ride a cart, John Daly, because he has convinced them that he has an injury or at least a disability. What do you think about it?
He has osteoarthritis. It's debilitating. He can't walk the course anymore. And he had the medical records to prove it. And he petitioned last year for the senior U.S. Open, was denied. But this year he had enough doctor consultation to get the go-ahead. And I agree with it, Bob. I mean, there's no reason.
I don't.
Why?
Listen, it is a competitive disadvantage if you're not, because if you're him, you can't compete in walk, okay? Then you can't compete. You're giving him an unfair advantage that he's driven to the ball.
Because he's disabled, though.
But okay, there are a lot of people. What is your definition of a disabled? They didn't allow Casey Martin, and he legitimately, this you can argue that John Daly brought on himself by his badly cared body.
That's subjective, though. There's no proof that there was no doctor's conclusion that said, well, John, because you like to drink Jack Daniels, this is why you have osteoarthritis.
Because of that, he put on a lot of weight, and he had knee problems. He had his knee problems well before any of this developed. But maybe it did develop it faster because of it. My point is, if you don't think it's an advantage, go back to 1994. That's the U.S. Open in Oakmont. Every day was 95 to 100 degrees. It was unbelievable, and there were guys falling like flies. If you're not physically capable of walking the golf course, then how should you be treated differently? Why should you be given a cart?
Because he's still physically capable of swinging a golf club and playing the game. He just can't move along.
But that's part of it.
Well, okay, to me, again, this is debatable. What constitutes playing the sport? Is it just the strokes and playing, or is it the movement that occurs between shots? Right? When I go out and play golf, and I'm in a cart, I don't track that. I mean, there's no statistic or there's
but how about because you save the wear and tear. When you're in a 95-degree day, you have to admit that it's a long day out there. It's 4.5, 5 hours on a golf course with the sun beating down on you.
Yeah.
Okay? It takes stamina to do that and to keep your swing and keep everything. You're going to laugh at that, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm doing my best here,
But you know, John Daly will probably have a six-pack and a whole bunch of stuff in that cart. They're going to have to watch that and double-check for it. But no, but the point is, it's an unfair advantage. But that's how the USGA has they've seen it that way forever. Now all of a sudden a change. Why? Why do you think there's a change?
Well, because to me there's a difference between a disability and being injured. Tiger Woods had a back problem. He was injured. He had knee surgery. He was injured.
He took no cart.
He didn't have.
Didn't even ask for a cart.
He didn't have something chronic that was dubbed a disability by medical professionals. And I'm going to trust in this case the medical professionals. Bob.
We got to go to a break. It's an interesting topic. We'll be back right after this.